Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I've been feeling bad about our Isaac play, but for some reason, I don't know, I just feel like I'm back. 4YQW14KY. Of course, I'll tell you right off the bat, is this Burning Basement? It is Burning Basement. Burning Basement, Curse of Darkness, is the closest this game comes to letting us know that there is no benevolent force in the universe that cares for our well-being, but we're gonna ignore that. Last run was fun. Good things happened as a result of it. This run, I mean, we got no reason to believe in any kind of negativity so far. On a statistics level, well, the rate of fire is truly terrible. That is absolutely fair. However, damage compensates for it. Maybe not completely, but still. What? Was there a... Jamie, can you pull up the clip of me getting blown up by my own excrement? I don't know what happened on... It's the trinket, dude. It's this cursed trinket. Get out of here. Get out of here. I won't allow you to harshen my vibe this early on a Monday. It is a Monday, by the way. I know what you're gonna say. NL, please God, do not regale us with a story of your gym. Please, nobody cares. We're over it. At this point, it's time to just accept that the gym anecdotes, they don't go anywhere, okay? To which I reply, I refuse. I gotta think about this one. You think we're gonna get 3 cents? Do we even want 3 cents? Do we even care about Mr. Mega? Is anybody listening? I don't know. That's not Mr. Mega, by the way. But regardless. Yikes. Scary room. I'm sorry, it's all I got going on right now. I gotta hit you with it. I've previously, I look back at myself and like, the titular character, well, it's not really titular, but like the main character in Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground, I look back on my younger self with a sense of disgust and my naivete and my Pollyanna-esque nature of looking at the world. Couple of days at the gym aren't too busy. My immediate thought, the gym will never be busy again. Pop into the gym today. I'm looking at the lockers like Dave Hester. Lockers 1 through 10, occupied. Not a big deal. Lockers 10 through 20, occupied. A little bit more unusual, to be honest with you. Lockers 20 through 30, occupied. I said, what the heck? There's 30 people in this tiny gym right now, minimum? And the answer to that question is yes. Yes, there were. It was a very busy day. I had, well, not busy for me. I did the normal thing, but I was lucky enough, one of the squat racks was open. Help me. Whoa, you! He was so tiny. His presence was imperceptible to me. Like I said, I got a good feeling about today. And for the rest of my time at the gym, I protected like a mother protects her baby bird. When I went to get a drink of water, I draped my towel over the bar. I even added plates. I was like, hey, look, somebody's about to do a 500-pound squat. Get out of here. You don't want to mess with that guy. And then I was like, all right. Remove those, please. I have no bombs. And yet I must destroy these guys. Dude, thank God. First off, it's entirely my own fault that I didn't think about the trinket that was present. I'll admit that. However, it's okay. We can get out of this. We just gotta use our brain. Is that a shop or was that a double key situation? Oh, it's a double bomb situation. That explains it. Really, we're just looking for the shop. Everything else is of grave inconsequence. The arcade, admittedly, actually is kind of a lifeline, because we can actually go in here and At least play these guys. We might ruin our ability to purchase things from the shop. But I think, honestly, it's well worth it just to survive. If we can survive. God, I hate arcades. I love blood banks, but I hate the arcades, dude. Just for the record, you could also give me, like, a bomb. Okay. Okay, beautiful. Now we're cruising. Now we're cruising. Now, immediately forget that you were just in danger and go pick up the blood bag. And then, now I'm like, okay, everything's looking good. I know we should have done this in an opposite order, but now we can go peep this, and it was a complete waste of our time as usual, but that's fine. This was big. Unfortunately, we did lose money, but we got full HP, roughly, and an HP upgrade, so I think it's, you know, well worth the cost of doing business. We also got keys back, which allowed us to come in here and provide an item with essentially zero benefit whatsoever. But yeah, so I did, I went to the gym, did a little channel update video, which are always fun to do. I don't think we care. Well, I mean, we don't. It's probably better than the magnet, which doesn't do very much for us, especially because it's broken anyway. It's been, I mean, it's early. I was gonna say it's been an uneventful day, but that's not really fair, you know? This is pretty much your typical, Monday afternoon for me. Except for the fact that it's both President's Day and Family Day. If you're not familiar with Family Day, I don't blame you. It is a holiday that's only existed in Canada for about a decade. I believe I had this exact same premise when I talked about Family Day last year. By the way, it's so weird to have a series where I can be like, I feel like I've recently talked about this, and then I'm like, oh, I did. February of 2019. But sometimes when people hear about Family Day, they go, what the heck is Family Day? And it's like, it is what it is. It's a day that the government gives you off from work, unless you work, you know, in a retail capacity, to spend time with your family. I'm not suggesting retail workers don't need time to spend with their family. I honestly, I mean, you're trying to, I think, corner me into a bad faith argument here, and I refuse the notion. I don't control the whims of the Pier 1 imports industry. Apart from that, also, Malf said, hey, I don't want to stream today because it's Family Day. I'm going to spend time with my family. And I said, please do. Say hi to your mother for me. So I'm a friend of the people. Remember that always. But as far as I'm concerned, Family Day is a much more legitimate holiday than just about any other holiday in the Canadian calendar. You know, just because no other country, well, I shouldn't say that because I honestly don't know. In fact, can I regale you with something? South Korea has a Children's Day, which is like, I think it's in May. It's just a day that's like, hey, for kids, no school today. I'm for it, dude. Why do we always have to have like a weird excuse for a holiday? Can't just be like, well, there's no holiday in February, so all of a sudden, you know, you gotta, hey, quick, find a deceased pope. Today's Pope Gregory the 12th day. We can't just be like, hey, enjoy your time off. I don't get it. What is a bank holiday? I know the UK has bank holidays. Hold on. I know, bank holiday calls for a 6-pack of beer, and then it's back to work. I've listened to Park Life dozens of times. Don't try to get one by me. What is a bank holiday? A bank holiday is a day on which banks are officially closed, observed as a public holiday. Okay, so a bank holiday seems a little bit like Family Day. Come on. That's just painful. But under a different name. I support that. I think we should have days that are more like that. Like in Canada, and look, this is like, everything is an argument online now, for sure. And I'm sure Queen Victoria is definitely not exempt from that. But in Canada, we have Victoria Day. I feel like Victoria Day would be much better known as Well, it's already called the May 2-4 weekend by many people, but it would be much more aptly named if it was just like, hey, you haven't had a day off in a while, here you go, you know? But then big 75-year-old people, are you denying the role that Queen Victoria played? Nobody's observing the glory of Queen Victoria on Victoria Day. This isn't a, 1903. Everybody's getting hammered on Lakeport ice, sitting in, beach chairs on the Okanagan. Spare me. Anyway, where am I going here? You love to see diplopia. You don't have to use... oh, that's such a bad... We got lucky. You don't have to use diplopia here, but obviously, with the way that it came to pass here, I think it worked out very well for us. Black candle is a beautiful item. Might as well grab the key. Restock. Honestly, hooked us up fairly nicely. I could live with those bombs. Now, we could actually buy a second restock. I don't think that's worth too much, but it does give you some consumables. I don't think we want a second black candle. I think we'll go for the fish here. Coupon's not good. Well, it's probably better than the wooden nickel, but what's done is done. You know what? I will buy a starter deck. Mostly, I'm going to admit I overpaid. I bought it for the card predominantly. And tarot cloth would be nice, but is not going to happen, so let's keep fishing. Yeah, I can live with that. You know what? So that was a huge leap of faith and was ill-advised, but I thought to myself, why not leave it out on the field, If we could get a dime out of wooden nickel and buy tarot cloth, it would be a legendary performance. The likes of which people would be talking about for years. Years. On the other hand, we did screw ourselves out of having an arcade on the next floor as a result, so don't at me, is my response to that. Do not issue your ats in my general direction. I think that would have found a secret room, so instead I am just going to leave. I think more holidays should be honest. You don't need an excuse to take a day off from work. I'm not going to say you work too much, because you know me. I've come to accept that in today's climate, and that's not like anything about political correctness gone mad. It's not that I think people should work more. It's really like a personal defect in me to some extent. I've come to accept that it's just my personality, that I am at some of my happiest, maybe not like my full happiest, but I'm at my happiest and most satisfied on a daily basis when I'm working on something that I enjoy, Sometimes that's recording Isaac episodes, sometimes it's, learning a little bit of Korean, 저는 한국어 공부해요. Just 조금, but a little. I apologize for my accent, by the way. 미안합니다. Sure. But it's for whatever reason, that's in my personality. So sometimes I do take the attitude that people should work more, but I'm mostly referring to people in our industry, because I'm like, dude, I can audit your hours. You work like 10 hours this week. And you're tweeting about the ravages of capitalism? You haven't even put in... Some people are volunteering more than that. And their volunteering is not playing video games. But again, you don't get me started on this. It's going to give me a lot of trouble. However, if you work a regular, 9-to-5 job, or you have a job with a high degree of, emotional labor, and I think that does include stuff like retail, where you have to deal with complete idiots at all times. No offense to all consumers, but I'm not a bad retail consumer or a bad diner or whatever, but I'm sure sometimes I ask stupid questions, Hey, do you guys have shirts? Yeah, it's in the aisle. It's in the shirt aisle. The big sign that says shirts? Oh, okay, I didn't see them, so I assumed that maybe the shirt factory didn't sell t-shirts. You don't need an excuse. You don't need to be like, well, I'd love to work today, but unfortunately, it's Queen Victoria's birthday. Oh, what are you getting her? A hangover. That hurt me right there. Yo, but Steam sale, combined with the potentiality of our restock here, very chef's kiss. Well, I'll even go a step further, I haven't worked a quote-unquote traditional job in a long, long time. There's no doubt about that. However, for office work, which is all I can really speak to, I am 100% a believer in the 4-day work week. Having worked those jobs, well, a couple of those jobs, let's not go too far, right? Having worked a couple of those jobs, and maybe it's not true for every office or every employee, and I want to reiterate, I'm coming at this from a position of having not done it in a while. I'm acknowledging my own ignorances and biases in advance. This is not, hey, ivory tower streamer who hasn't worked a real job in the 2010s or the 2020s so far, you know, tells you how you should do it, you know? It's not like that, but I do, when I look back at those times in my life, I'm like, man, I for sure could have accomplished everything I accomplished in a 5-day work week and a 4-day work week. Now, I'm speaking, I guess, specifically of 4 10-hour days instead of 5 8-hour days, but even that opens up, like, a staggering amount of extra free time. One less, well, I guess technically 2 less commutes, you know? 1 less morning where you have to be up at X time, you know, shower immediately, don't eat good stuff for breakfast because you gotta go fast, like Sonic. You know, you get the idea. Might not be true for every profession, of course, but I'm a big believer in that. But moreover, I think there should just be, like, more days off. I don't think it would, well, you know, what do I know, to be honest? But also, I don't really believe it would mess with, like, the economic realities too much. Admittedly, again, I have to reiterate, I am a fool. But those are my thoughts at this moment. Now, I will say, you might be working retail, you know, big box store or something like that, and you're going, but NL, what about me? You know, if less people work on, you know, your average Friday, more people are going to be coming to, you know, Big Lots or something like that. Well, you're going to get me in, let's go. You're going to get me in trouble again. Look, I'm not an Elon Musk guy. I'm not a Bill Gates, a Paul Allen, etc., etc. All I'm going to say is anytime I go to an establishment and I have the opportunity to interact with a robot or a computer instead of a human being, I'm sorry, I interact with the robot 100% of the time. It's not because I dislike the human being. It's because I dislike human beings. It's pretty much what it comes down to. And if I'm at McDonald's, I'm gonna do something a little spicy here. Get ready. We're gonna burn this Emperor card that could get us into boss rush to get out of here a little faster, a little safer. You got something for me? You got something for me? You got something for me? Come on, I got Gimpy. You should be paying out like gangbusters. Oh, you paid out like gangbusters. Now, I don't relish it. It's not like I go to the kiosk and I look at like the 17-year-olds that are behind the counter and I'm like, you scumbags, you've had it too easy for too long. I don't understand. I see people like that on Twitter now and then and I'm like, what went wrong in your life? You know, like there's those kinds of people who, like, they suffered as kids and teenagers and young adults, so they think it's unfair if not everybody has to suffer. You know. Well, I got grifted with a $250,000 bachelor degree, so I think my own children should have to go through the same thing. I'm not one of those guys. It's just a... Help. Wow, we got out. If only I could get out of this conversation. It's just... Usually it's a smoother experience to use the machines, I gotta say. Yo, I think that's good enough. And I always think about, like, you know, automation is, and again, what do I know? I want to be clear that I'm saying that not to protect myself, but rather to protect you from thinking that, like, I'm some kind of source just because I, like, read a Medium article from some guy who's, like, the CEO of a machine learning corporation. Like, I think a lot of YouTubers, in my opinion, streamers too, do a really bad job of explaining to their audience that they're idiots. And most of us are pretty dumb. Just being honest. I don't mean like we're dumb in the sense like we can't, you know, manage our lives. But I mean like the number of times I hear a streamer like go off on like, hey, this is how the world really works. And I'm like, I get it. You watched a Kurzgast video. It's like... And I love Kurzgast. He's smart, but, you know. And we as a team as well. But anyway, you get the idea. That's kind of beside the point. I want you to be very well aware of the fact that I'm well aware of the fact that I'm a dummy. I think we should save our money, but I'm willing to yeet some hearts at this guy. Okay, I guess we'll purchase the Hanged Man accidentally. Funny way of saving money. But I look at like Japan, because Japan has had this thing for a while. Come on. Work with, okay, sure. You know what? I got the greatest idea of all time. Get ready. This is gonna have to go fast. It's gonna have to go fast. A little faster than this, please. A little faster than this. Okay, here's what you do. Oh, what did I do? I used Sharp Plug. What item did I get rid of? I don't even remember. It doesn't matter. It was Mr. Boom. I think just go, dude. Just go. That was the wrong time to use Sharp Plug, but we're out here. Okay. Destroy Mom ASAP. ASAP. Here you go. Get into that deal with the devil. You're okay. Grab empty vessel. Come back out. Get an item out of this. Oh my god, they're all amazing. Grab the most fun one. Get to the shop. Look at that. Okay, what a world we found ourselves in. We did it. When I look at Japan, when I think of automation, because Japan has had, you know, like robot workers for a long time. Like you can go to a restaurant. I mean, there's still like staff. But you can go to a restaurant and, you know, when you go in, they direct you to a machine. And you're like, okay, I'll take one Shio ramen and a, you know, soda. And then you put your money in the machine and it gives you a ticket. You give the ticket to a human being. And then, like, you know, 3 minutes later, your food pops out right at your seat. I'm like, how does a population, like, larger than Canada's, smaller than the U.S. is for sure, but larger than Canada's, how do they deal with automation, right? And then you know, basically, where are the jobs? And then you know, whenever you're like driving in Japan, you'll see that there are, on every street corner, older men with like hand clickers counting the amount of cars that go by. And I'm like, oh, that's what we need. We got it all backwards in North America. We got like those little things on the road that just automatically measure it. That's what you gotta do. Anyway, I should probably avoid talking about broad macroeconomic trends, because honestly, like, again, just because I have opinions doesn't mean like I know what I'm talking about at all. I would really encourage you, like, if you're interested in this stuff, don't listen to me and then get mad at me when I'm wrong. Tell people what to actually watch. I am knowledgeable about a few things. One of the things I'm most knowledgeable about, to be honest, is my own ignorance. It's one of my favorite topics to discuss. Is like, what do I know? I'm dumb. A lot of people are blind to their own ignorance. I'm probably blind to some of my own ignorance, to be fair, but... Apart from that, shaving your head. I got great advice on going bald. People still... And it's frustrating for me sometimes, but also I've been there, you know? People will be in my chat, they'll be like... Hit me with the cry emoji. They'll be like, I'm 28 and I'm already going bald. And I'll admit, my first reaction is, that must be so hard for you. I was in college. Anyway, it's not a contest, but if it was, I'm winning. Regardless, it's hard, you know, if that's something that you've lived your life, you know, focused on, is like the quality of your hair or whatever. And I also know, like, every guy convinces themselves they're not going to go bald. Because when they're, like, 15, someone goes, oh, your grandpa's bald. You're probably going to go bald. And you're like, you idiot. You simpleton. What do you mean I'm going to go bald? Look at this incredible head of hair I have at the age of 15 that I will doubtlessly have for the rest of my life. It's like you're a fool who can't look at evidence. Anyway, hold on. I got an idea here. Don't hurt me. I'm Ryan. There we go. That's the idea. And it's working. But the advice is very simple. Look, this is not straw man. This is like photocopy man. Because I've seen this conversation. I've been a part of it 500 times. You say, I'm losing my hair. I say, you can rock the thinning hair in the Widow's Peak, like Vegeta style for a bit, but when it gets embarrassing, you should shave it off. They go, you don't understand. I have a weird head. I go, you don't understand. Everybody thinks they have a weird head. But before I shaved my head, I thought I had a weird head. To be honest with you, I still think I have kind of a weird head, but it just, like, because everybody's got weird heads, the fact that I've got a little ridge on mine doesn't even register for people. Because they're like, wow, you know, wow, his head is like perfectly ovoid. Anyway, suffice it to say, that is my advice. You can beat it. I believe, at least, you know. You could get a hair transplant. You could take, you know, Propecia or... And there's another one that starts with an M. I don't know the name of it, but it starts with an M. I don't know. A lot of guys, look, you can see them in Hollywood, right? I'm not even going to say that it's a bad decision, because I'm sure it's worked out for a lot of people. Cough, cough, Jeremy Piven. All I'm saying is you watch episodes of the Larry Sanders Show, which I actually almost just called the Bernie Sanders Show. Maybe there's a viral tweet in there I could work on later tonight. Jeremy Piven... probably like in his mid-20s on the Larry Sanders Show. Obviously balding. Jeremy Piven now, 25 years later, full head of hair. It's wild. Mother Nature works in mysterious ways. Anyway, I'm not saying it's anything to be ashamed of. But I will say in some ways, I think I was blessed, and I mean this sincerely. I think I was blessed to go bald when I was also young and broke. Why broke? Because it meant I, you know, never for a moment was I like, oh yeah, 15 grand for a hair transplant. Absolutely. Why young? Because it meant, like, I didn't want to go to the doctor's office for anything. It's like, I could lose my hair at a young age, or alternatively, I could make an appointment with the doctor. Ah, just take it. Just take it, Jesus. I didn't need it anyway. But I think it saved me, I think it saved me a lot of grief, honestly. I never had to really... There was maybe like a 12 to 24 month period where I had to be like, you know, I had to reconcile losing my hair. And then I was just kind of like, there it goes, you know? Might as well take care of it now before it, you know, becomes a crippling aspect of, you know, my lack of self-esteem for the rest of my life, I guess. But the thing is, you might be like, man, I wish I did that. You could still do it. I'm being frank with you as well. I can be your bald guru. A lot of guys, they're like, as soon as I see the first signs of balding, I think I should shave it. I'm going to shave it off right away and get jacked. First off, no, you're not. You know how I know that? I don't want to pop your bubble. If that's your coping mechanism, by all means. However, it's way easier to say you're going to get jacked than to actually get jacked. I don't believe you. Regardless, I wish you the best of luck. Of course, I encourage you to get jacked if that's, you know, something you're interested in. Please tell me this is bookworm. It's not quite bookworm? Or do we already have bookworm? I don't know. Hold on, this is just... It is kind of important. This run is spicier than I thought it would be here. Mostly because I keep using my orbital for no reason. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. And world fool. Why? Anyway. I honestly think, you know, men with a slightly receding hairline, men with thinning hair can still look pretty good. And I mean that with 100% sincerity. You know, I think you can rock the look for a bit. You can rock the Jude Law. Eventually, it's gonna get to be too much. And you're like, I'll tell you, I've got a Costanza, right? I pointed at myself as if the webcam was on. You know, I have hair on the top of my head, but it's very thin, and it grows much sparser than, I mean, it gets sparser every day, right? A 30-year-old with a full-on Costanza horseshoe, not a great look. But if I had like a little, you know, just a slight recession, I might keep it going for a little bit. But just acknowledge that at some point, you know, it's probably better to just see it go. I'm not gonna, you know, pay you lip service. If you want to keep your hair for a little bit longer, by all means. However, at some point, you know, it's about the freedom. It's my 2 cents. By the way, I'm sure like no matter when you deal with it, it's probably like annoying, right? Even if you're like 50, if you had a full head of hair like your whole life, then you turn 50 and you're like, oh, I'm going bald. You're probably like, this is a real crisis. Don't let me, you know, make you feel like a little baby just because of the fact that I dealt with it when I was 17, you know? Everybody's got their own problems. They face their own, you know, at the different timings in life. It's not for me to judge. Well, I'll tell you the other thing is, you know, I also like, when I see guys out there that have obvious, you know, thinning hair and are still rocking it, I don't judge them at all. I don't go, ooh, there's a guy that should go bald. Like, to be honest with you, I mostly just don't care at all. I'm wrapped up in my own business. Which I think is another good piece of advice, is that, you know, you're like, oh, I'm worried that people are judging me when I'm outside. Dude, nobody cares. Like, at all. I will say, you know, you might not like this. I think if you're in college or high school, somebody might care. You know, I got bald cracks when I was in college, for sure. But if you're like, you know, in your mid to late 20s and you're gonna shave your head, dude, nobody cares. You know how many, like, 20 to 30-year-old bald men I see on a daily basis? Not that many because I don't leave my house, but when I'm at the gym, I see, like, you know, at least half a dozen every time. And as you know, there were 30 people there today. Perhaps even slightly more than 30. Ooh, that is not worth it. I told you I was on a roll today. The commentary is flowing fast and furious. Stars, stars. This is good. That's fine. How come we have so many flies but not have Beelzebub yet? Doesn't seem real. That's very nice. That's not very nice, but used in conjunction with the chariot, it might be okay. But I think we'd rather just have High Priestess. High Priestess chariot, please. Thank you. Okie dokie. We should be totally set. So you pop chariot card. Might as well. Oh, that's the wrong card, dummy! Please tell me we still get another charge when we walk in. That would be hilarious. Sorry, my card foo has been very bad as of late. High Priestess. Stars. We don't really want that one. It does not get another charge. Foiled again. I almost had fun with an unintended consequence of having a synergy. Thwarted in my evil plan. Don't you do it. Dude, just kick some bombs in there. I'm like, I don't trust this guy. Yeah, that was so dangerous. This guy could cause us some freaking problems, dude. I don't know, I've lost confidence at the end of the fight today. There we go, we got you. We got you. I almost went to the void accidentally. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button, subscribe, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For the next watch, I'll see you next time. See ya!